Hello, welcome to today's study season at TE Academy. Today, we meet again for modeling and simulating decentralized economic systems with the application of AI and machine learning with Muhammad. Welcome back, Muhammad, and welcome back everyone who is working with us in this live track. Again, this is a program we offer in the TE Academy study season. In case you're following us via Twitter or the YouTube live stream, you can still register via tokenengineering.net. This is a program available online and virtual lectures. Join, register to have full access to all the learning material and the session recordings, and to have the chance to win or gain NFT proof of knowledge via passing an exam. More details in this lecture today. Before we start, let's take a look at the agenda today. We'll discuss emerging research topics in token engineering and AI machine learning. We briefly discussed while preparing the session, there are most exciting developments going on at the moment, of course, in the AI sector when it comes to AI agents. And Muhammad has prepared some demos today, so I'm pretty excited to check out these. And then, of course, you are invited to bring your questions. Let's discuss what all these new opportunities, this new technology mean for the sector of token engineering, how we can apply it, where we can benefit as token engineers, and generally for designing new economic systems based on tokens. Yeah, this is an open discussion today. And then after the session, you can directly head over to the exam. So the Notion page provides all materials and links to access the exam, and we'll have a short demo at the end of the session to walk you through how you can access the exam and all details and also questions you might have. All right, that's it. I stop here, Muhammad. Let's kick off the session. Welcome back again.
Perfect. Let me just share my screen and let me know if you guys can see.
We can see it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Slides are changing. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to this last session of Token Engineering track. So today we will be exploring this fascinating intersection of blockchain and AI. So we will specifically focus on some emerging research topics for token engineers while working at this intersection of building use cases at this intersection. So this session is titled as Emerging Research Topics in Token Engineering at the Intersection of Blockchain and AI. And I will be sharing some use cases which are being developed already and what we can do to further enhance these developments as token engineers to make these systems robust and sustainable. So let's start with the agenda of today's session. Okay, so before we dive into the detail, first of all, we will see that how this session will go and what are the primary objectives. And one of the primary objectives of this session is to explore the use cases like BitTensor, Fetch AI, Singularity Net, and Notion. These kind of use cases which are being developed on blockchain to facilitate AI developments, and we will provide insights into these projects, that how the economic systems and economic models of these different use cases work. And we will also see the role of AI in enhancing blockchain-based token economics, helping us to understand how these technologies can work together to create a more efficient and robust system. We will also identify the opportunities for token engineers who are willing to work in this domain. So how they can get into this domain? What are some of the ways to getting started with this token engineering field while working in this specific domain of AI? Okay, so the projects which I will discuss in today's session, they are basically divided into two categories. So there are decentralized physical infrastructure projects, and these projects include decentralized compute services which are offered by projects like Blender is offering decentralized compute, and Akash Network is also offering decentralized compute services. And there are decentralized storage products which are which were already available in this crypto domain, like IPFS and decentralized file storage system, but they were not specifically designed for AI datasets and AI data. So we will discuss about decentralized storage services which are uh, specifically designed for AI models. And we will also discuss the decentralized models which are being developed by the participants who are distributed across the globe without any single entity controlling the development and inference of a model. And the other category of projects which we will discuss are the application layer projects. So these projects include the dApps which are being developed on top of these decentralized infrastructure. So they include personalized AI agents with the functionality of owning them, that in terms of in form of NFTs. And also you can monetize those NFTs, which are basically the AI agents, through different by designing different monetization models. And they also have this these decentralized AI agents are also capable of doing tasks like which we want to do with the chat GPT, but in more decentralized fashion, in a way that no one controls the model, no one controls the data. So these use cases in specific to these two categories we will be discussing. Okay, so these are some of the projects. There are a lot. We will not be discussing all of them, but we will discuss one project from each category. So I will just briefly give overview of some of the projects here. So MyShell is the decentralized AI agent which is built on the infrastructure provided by BitTensor. So BitTensor is something like providing the infrastructure of compute and AI models, and MyShell is built on top of that. Ritual, IONet, Z1 Lab, they are all working on the decentralized compute. Nodes also working on that. There is Ocean Protocol, which is working on the decentralized data sets. So recently the alliance of Ocean, Fetch AI, and Singularity Net, which is called the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, they all are cooperating with each other in order to build use cases, because they all have different domains. Like Fetch AI offers decentralized agents which you can create with the smart contracts with ownable functionality, and you can monetize them. So that specific part is provided by Fetch AI. And Ocean is the marketplace of data, so users can monetize their data, and they can kind of sell their data in order to train these AI models. And Singularity Net also working at building use cases on top of the data sets provided by Ocean Protocol. So this alliance is something which we can see that in order to compete the big giants which are centralized like OpenAI, to provide services which are comparable to centralized counterparts, but they are at the same time decentralized and owned by individuals. So these are the use cases which we will discuss in each domain. So BitTensor, Ocean, Fetch AI, and ALI agents. And finally, I will give a brief demo of ALI agents. So how it works, because this is the project I'm working on from the last 3 to 4 months. So we will see how it works and what is the role of token engineer, the things I worked on in this project. Okay, so let's start with the BitTensor, which is focused on decentralized AI network with the robust economic incentives. So BitTensor, it focuses on building a decentralized AI network that leverages blockchain technology to facilitate AI model training, pre-training, data sharing in a decentralized manner. So it has its own utility token Tau, which users can acquire from decentralized exchanges, and then they can stake on different subnets. So this is the basic currency of the BitTensor network. It is built on, I think, Cosmos SDK. I'm not sure whether it is in Polkadot. I think it's Cosmos. It's on Cosmos. So the interchain environment of Cosmos facilitates the transition of this Tau token among different networks. And some of the key components of this BitTensor network include subnets, which are basically the different kind of responsible for providing different kind of AI services. So we will look into the use case of each subnet. And the objective of BitTensor is to construct a scalable and decentralized AI infrastructure. In its ecosystem, the value of the network is directly tied to its scalability. So as more participants join and contribute to the network, the overall value and utility of the network increases. This encourages continuous growth and improvement, making it a very robust and scalable platform for decentralized AI development. And the design of BitTensor is, it consists of 32 subnets. So BitTensor's network is rooted in the game theory, fostering competition and collaboration among the participants. So there are currently 32 subnets in the network, and each competing for efficiency, reliability, and innovation. So the competition ensures that only the most effective and valuable subnets thrive, driving the overall performance of the network. And the constantly evolving strategies of reward distribution, which are based on the utility of each subnet, they incentivize each subnet to perform better than others in order to get more incentives. So incentives are designed considering the network growth and other factors of network scalability in mind. So there are different type of subnets in the BitTensor ecosystem. So it basically categorizes its subnets into two main types. There are high growth subnets like which provide the compute services. So they focus on user growth and significant network traffic. They drive attention by users staking their compute resources to the subnet, which other subnets which work on the model pre-training or training, they can utilize these resources which are offered by users, and in return users get incentives for contributing their resources. And there are other subnets which are revenue-based subnets. So they include prediction subnet, which generates revenue by generating different kind of investment strategies. So there are miners in the subnet who produce this kind of predictions, and there are validators who, by running their validation stack, validate these predictions, and then they can use these predictions to give users these predictions, or they can build their own trading strategy based on these predictions. So the incentive mechanism of BitTensor is based on the token emissions. So emissions are directly tied with the subnet performance. Subnets that have high efficiency, reliability, and innovation receive greater emissions. Validators and miners within the network are incentivized to maximize utility by contributing valuable resources and maintaining high performance standards. And this incentive mechanism ensures that all the subnets goals of the subnets are aligned with the users, so that the subnets which deserve to grow, they get more emissions from the tau token emissions, which are allocated on weekly basis. And this bit tensor, it integrates different subnets through this leveraging blockchain infrastructure. So these different subnets are complete products. So my shell is built on top of one of the subnet of bit tensor, and these all subnets are open source, so anyone can use these subnets to build on top of them different kind of prediction services or some kind of AI models. So this is basically the derives the value in tau token, and tau is used to stake on different subnets for getting the emissions rewards from the token emissions. Okay, so the next use case which is built at this intersection is the Fetch AI, which is dedicated to democratizing access to AI through the use of blockchain technology, and its focus is on democratizing access to AI by leveraging blockchain. So it aims to make this technology accessible and more accessible to wider audience. Someone has raised his hand. I think it's Saqib. Can you please unmute your mic? And
hi Angela. Hi Muhammad. So I have this really short question about decentralized AIs. You are talking about decentralized AIs. So I'm going to ask, where did these AIs get their data for training? I mean, when we have a central body like Google, they have their databases loaded, so they can train these AI models. So in terms of decentralized AI models, where did these decentralized platforms get data to train those AIs? Because we are in 2024, we are in the war of data. You know, we don't fight for oil or nuclear weapon nowadays. We are in the fight of data. So can you explain that?
Sure. So ideally, these decentralized AI models should be trained on the data which is contributed by the individuals upon their willingly. So the Ocean Protocol is one of the use case which is developed on this phenomena that data should be shared by the individuals, and the AI models should be trained on this data which is being shared by individuals, and those users who are actually giving their data to train AI models, they should be compensated for sharing their data. So ideally, these decentralized models should be trained on that data, which in return also rewards all the users who have contributed their personal data. It could be healthcare data or some kind of data related to their financial transactions and anything. But currently, most of the use cases, they don't yet have that much amount of data to train a model which is comparable to something like ChatGPT or centralized counterparts, Gemini, or any other model. So currently, the infrastructure is being built in order to make it scalable, in order to get the data in terabytes and more than that, so that these models can be trained. But currently, I don't think that there is enough data available on these decentralized networks to train models in isolation. So what we can do is don't do the pre-training on this decentralized data, but the fine-tuning of the models and even building use cases based on RAG. This data can be used, which is decentralized, and it makes it more ethical and from the regulatory perspective. It looks more ethical, as the data of our personal social media profile is not being used to train these models. We will also discuss in detail that how Ocean works, and you will get your question answered more in detail in the Ocean part. Okay, with the Fetch AI, the FET is the utility token of Fetch. So it is basically used to get services, build agents, build smart contracts on top of Fetch, which are basically the decentralized models which user can own and monetize. And the main objective of Fetch is to create a scalable and decentralized network that can automate tasks across a wider range of sectors. So this include in the industries such as transportation, healthcare, and finance by deploying these autonomic economic agents that can perform complex tasks independently. So Fetch AI recently partnered with the Bosch tech IT company, and they also partnered with the transportation brand recently. So they are building these real world use cases, are adopting these decentralized AI services by building agents for their specific use case. So these kind of use cases where your institution adopt to these AI models, I think that is the next thing which really started happening recently, and we will see more real use cases being developed on top of these decentralized AI agents. Okay, so the core components of Fetch AI include autonomous economic agent. These are basically the software entities which are capable of predicting, learning, and transacting autonomously. So these AEAs, basically that they are different agents. They can coordinate with each other in order to get data and perform different tasks on behalf of users, like performing transactions or doing some financial analysis, or depending on the use case. The platform uses interchain protocol based on the Cosmos SDK. So, and it's built with the WASM programming language, and the technical foundation supports the deployment of intelligent applications, ensures that they are performing based on the high throughput of Cosmos ecosystem. And it is a layer 1 protocol, and its operation mechanism include the open economic framework, which revolves around its within the framework. AIs interact and engage in collective learning, so they enhance their capabilities and efficiency over time by interacting with each other. And this Fetch AI, it uses decentralized machine learning protocol, ensuring that the operations of these AEAs are secure, private, and efficient. So your data is not compromised, because these decentralized ML model, they leverage the model which are being developed by the users, so they are not controlled by any central entity. And one of the strength of Fetch AI is its interoperability within other blockchain. So this capability provides these economic agents the access to a broader range of data and services, and it really enhances their capability of performing different type of tasks. FET token is the governance token and utility token of Fetch AI, and it is used as a payment and currency of transaction within this ecosystem. And the recent partnerships which I already mentioned, like at an automotive data exchange, and with the energy grids, and these kind of use cases which are being built on top of HAI, they are really adopting these AI models quickly, and we will see that in very short time these decentralized models can compete with the in terms of performance with the many centralized models also. And the third use case, which is which Sakib just mentioned, that how the data for these decentralized AI models is queried. So basically the data ocean protocol is built upon this to solve this problem, that the data to train these AI models, it should also be democratized, and it should be contributed by users, and they should be compensated for sharing their data. So Ocean protocol focuses on this specific problem, and it facilitates the exchange of AI and machine learning models as well as data monetization, and empowering users to share and benefit from data in secure and decentralized manner. Ocean is the utility token of Ocean protocol, and recently after this alliance of Fetch AI, Singularity Net, and Ocean, now they have this ASI token. So Ocean, Fetch, and Singularity token, they all will be merged with this ASI token after this alliance. So this ASI token will be used in all three markets in order to share their data, in order to use that data to train different type of models, create agents, and then monetize them. So this will, I think, combine all the different components of building an AI, decentralized AI by after this alliance. So now the recipe is complete. Let's see how they go ahead with this. Okay, so Ocean has a data marketplace which facilitates exchange of data between consumers of data sets and the actual contributors, and users can monetize their data and models while enabling consumer to access these resources. And data tokens and data NFTs are basically the currencies of these data sets. So data tokens are ERC20 token, which are used to access data services, providing a standardized way to purchase and utilize data. And data NFTs, which are ERC721, they represent ownership and rights for allowing others to create and manage those data sets. And compute to data, which are C2D tokens. The key feature of Ocean is its compute to data framework. The privacy preserving technology also allows computations and to be performed on data without the data leaving its secure environment. So the data which is shared by user, it doesn't leave the environment, it stays within, and users can perform the model training and different AI related tasks within that environment. Okay, so there are few practical applications of Ocean protocol, which include mobility blockchain initiative, which is one of the significant application within the Ocean environment. So by sharing the autonomous vehicle data, Ocean protocol helps improve safety models and enhance the development of autonomous driving technologies. And there are data unions and DAO, and the Ocean protocol supports the creation of decentralized organizations and data union. These entities manage data assets collectively, allowing communities to pool and monetize their data securely and transparently. And there are personal data markets also with Ocean, and individuals can create and monetize their own data tokens. This empowers users to take control of their data and monetize to get value from their personal data. They recently have built the Ocean Predictor, which is basically the decentralized prediction model, which predicts the prices of different type of cryptocurrencies, and users can use these predictions in order to trade and perform different type of trading activities. Okay, so the final protocol which we will discuss, and we will also have a brief overview and demo of this, is ALI agents. So this is one of the project I'm recently started working, and I'm working on it from last couple of months. And this offers ALI agents which are personalized, and they are monetized, which users can monetize by buying and selling keys of those ALI agents. And users can interact with these decentralized agents. They can buy and sell keys of existing agents, and they can also perform different type of role play action by creating dreams of these agents. So each agent has a unique personality, which is basically embedded in the prompt of this agent. Users can also create animations and avatars and generate selfies of these agents, and these top performing agents receive leaderboard rewards in terms of ALI token, which is the native currency of ALI agents. And the prime agents which are being selected depending upon their performance weekly, they also get their token economy launched on a decentralized exchange with a Uniswap pool with the ALI token liquidity. So these are the some of the features of ALI agents. And I think after this slide, we will have this demo of ALI agents, how they work and how you can create your agent and monetize it. So we discussed the 3 to 4 use cases which are being developed at this intersection of blockchain and AI, and how token engineers can work on these projects, and they improve the robustness and sustainability of these projects by aligning the incentives and doing different type of modeling and simulation. So the key actions which token engineers are responsible for developing these token incentive structures that promote long-term engagement and growth within the ecosystem. This involves designing mechanisms that reward participants fairly for their contributions. So like in ALI agent, there is leaderboard reward mechanism. So who will get leaderboard rewards, what amount of rewards they should get, and different kind of categories, and all these stuff is something where token engineers come into play in this game. And additionally, they ensure that fair and transparent distribution of these tokens to prevent any kind of centralization, thereby maintaining a balanced and inclusive ecosystem. These efforts make these systems sustainable. So by creating a well-structured token economy, these decentralized AI agent platforms, they can really grow and reach up to their potential. So the role of token engineers is very critical, in a sense that if the incentives are not aligned, then these protocols are subject to gaming and other kind of activities in such a way that they cannot reach their true potential. Okay, so these decentralized AI model, they also have this governance mechanism where users can blacklist certain AI agents depending upon the ethical concerns and other concerns related to the privacy of individuals. So governance, designing an efficient governance mechanism where users can vote for what is right and what should be, what feature should be enabled by these AI agents. And maybe there are different edge cases which cannot be handled through incentive mechanisms. Governance can regulate all those dynamics. Okay, so let's have a brief demo of these AI agents, and then we can, after that, we can see that how they work. Let me just share my screen.
Meanwhile, you can start collecting questions. So feel free to drop notes in the chat, comments, questions you'd like to discuss after the presentation. And I also shared links to the projects mentioned. Feel free to check it out.
Okay, so can you guys see this screen over here? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how AI agents that looks like. So here you can see that these are different agents which are created by different users. So if I go into this Sleepy agent profile, so there is this Sleepy token, which is launched as a meme coin of, which is representing this Sleepy token. So it is deployed on base chain. And currently you can trade this Sleepy token on the Uniswap pool, and it has currently FDV market cap of 8.2 million. and these are the fees generated by transacting keys of this agent. They are around 35,000 ALI tokens which are approved in fees, and these are the rewards which are earned by this agent. So we will start interacting with the, or maybe one of the custom agent which I just created before this session. So these are the my agents which I created, and this is Elena, a token engineer. This is Paul Dirac. It's an ambassador of Positivity Ledger and something like that. And this was supposed to go Michael Zorgam's character, but I didn't use his name just due to the privacy. So this is basically character which I just created before this session. So it's basically a customized agent. It is built on top of the prompts which are provided by the users, so they can provide a custom personality and you can interact with these agents. So let me just ask a few questions. So it's Ethan Green, engineer who believes in the power of sustainable design and ethical engineering. Angela, doesn't it sound like Michael Zorgam? Most of the time sounds like very philosophical and depth discussions in sustainable design and ethical engineering. So my work revolves around the complex adaptive systems, algorithmic coordination, and value stewardship. I aim to create a world where innovation doesn't come at the cost of our environment and society. So this is basically a custom agent. You can create dreams of this agent like Michael Zergam in ETHCC or something like that, and then you can interact with that, with those dreams. And this is one of the use case which is built at the intersection of blockchain and AI, is that these custom agents, they can be monetized, and people can buy and sell keys and get a revenue from their interactions and sell volume. So anyone who holds a key, he gets revenue share from all the transactions and interaction which are being done with that agent. So it kinds of create this economy where users can build their agent, they can monetize their agents for different kind of tasks like content creation, or maybe some kind of meme coiners. Even in the productivity category, these agents can be used. So I think that's it from this session, because it was supposed to be more interactive and discussion oriented. So I'm done with the slides, and I think we can now go ahead with the questions from the participants. Do we have any question in the chat?
Idrees dropped a first one to the chat. Idrees, would you like to switch on your mic and ask? If it's possible, yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, about the model that you showed, like how is the training happening over there? If there, let's say you are making a personality who is like their data is not that social, or like making some of data where you can't extract from social to Twitter or anywhere, how would you train the model?
Yes, so if the personality which you are trying to build agent isn't a public figure, its data isn't available on the internet, so technically you cannot create an agent who doesn't exist. So you can give it any arbitrary personality with your prompt. So let's say you create an agent. Sorry?
Can you feed some data that we have personally?
Yeah, you can feed the data through the prompt. So you can give it a personality like someone who is a token engineer, so it will get the data of token engineering from the internet. And also you can provide it give it a personality like he's a singer or a musician with that specific field he's working in, and that kind of stuff can be integrated with the prompt and in the knowledge base also. So you can upload documents of data in its knowledge base, so the both ways the data can be integrated with it. I hope that answers your question. Perfect.
Any other questions when it comes to economies for data and AI or the application for token engineering?
Hi, Mohammed. Am I audible?
Mohammed, it's a little bit noisy. Please speak loud in case you have a question. Let us know.
Okay, actually, I'm a software engineer, web developer, Web2 engineer. So I want to switch to the blockchain and Web3 technology. So what are the fundamental skills and technology I should master to successfully transition from Web2 to Web3 or the blockchain technology?
So for a Web2 engineer to transition to the Web3, there are multiple roadmaps which you can follow. So there is a direction of being a blockchain developer. There is a direction of becoming a blockchain engineer, and there are other fields like you can become a DeFi engineer, DeFi research analyst, or maybe a token engineer. So every different domain has its own set of expertise, and there are some resources which I will also share in the Discord. If you just want to get an overview of blockchain technology and get a basic intro to different aspects, like what is the blockchain engineering, what is the blockchain development, and what are the roadmaps for each one of them. So there are some resources available. I will share them. There are some YouTube channels like that. It has a lot of resources like related to the blockchain development and app development, smart contract development and audits, and that is something I will share the name of this channel in the chat so that you can follow, and I will also share the complete roadmap of starting blockchain from zero and then selecting a specific domain.
Okay, is there any specific programming language or tool that related to the blockchain I have to learn in this roadmap?
Yeah, so depending upon the specific roadmap you select, like if you want to become a smart contract developer on EVM chain, so that on EVM chains, smart contracts are developed in Solidity, so you must be aware with the Solidity language. But if you are going with the non-EVM chains like Solana or Cosmos, so Rust and Go are the two programming languages in the smart contract development, specifically on the non-EVM blockchains. Otherwise, if you are in a more like analytical role, like a research engineer or DeFi engineers, or maybe R and Python are enough, and maybe some skills in the Excel modeling. So that really depends upon that what type of specific domain you want to target. Even in Ethereum ecosystem, if you want to become a blockchain engineer, like developing a layer 1 blockchain which is EVM compatible, or layer 2 blockchain, so there are different tech stacks, multiple blockchains are there. Are Ethereum clients which are written in Go, and there are also some Ethereum clients which are JavaScript based. So the programming language, I think that doesn't matter a lot. If you are in the blockchain domain, you don't have to write a lot of code here. Smart contracts are barely 200, 300 lines of code, but understanding the business side of blockchain, that how this works, like what are the validators, how the transactions are validated, and that is the important part of starting a career in the blockchain domain.
Yeah, sure, that's nice. So, is there any importance of the economics or the finance for a developer to know to entering into the blockchain?
I think if you start working in the blockchain domain, specifically transitioning from the Web2, so most of the Web2 use cases, they don't, as a developer, you don't have to make decisions or make strategies about the business side, because there is a separate team which is more most of the time dealing with the business use cases. But in Web3, the things are slightly different because the smart contract which you are developing, it consists of all the business transactions within that ecosystem. So you must know that how the economies work, the basic understanding, not in depth, because the token engineers are there to design the economic incentives and all that stuff. But you must know the basics of transaction fees and what are the native currencies and how they work. So the basic understanding of finance and economics is required, but you don't have to go in depth in these domains.
Yeah, thank you for the point. Thank you very much.
All right. Any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand, switch on your mic, or drop a note in the chat. Benoît, hello.
Hi. Yeah, I wanted to know, in order to work as a token engineer, so is it more a freelance job basis or is it more an employee basis? Because the token engineering is needed in order to develop the protocol, to make a strategy. And once it is running, maybe we need it a bit less. So I don't know, for example, for yourself, so are you like a freelancer or an employee, or how is it the work form, I would say, for this field?
Sorry, I couldn't get your question. The voice is not clear. Maybe.
Okay, can you hear me?
Angela, did you get anything?
We
I
can hear you.
you.
Could you maybe repeat the question
Okay.
loud?
So
Yeah, thanks.
Usually, when you work as a token engineer,
Mhm.
do you work as a freelance basis or as an employee for a company?
Should I repeat, Muhammad? I got it.
Yeah, you can repeat.
Okay, question was, as a token engineer, you, in the context of your projects, do you usually work as a freelancer or an employee? How is how to be involved in projects as a token engineer?
Previously, I was working with the Block Apex, so there it was a service-based company. So most of the time we were working with the projects on contract basis, so similar to freelancers. And we used to provide token engineering consultation services to different kind of products. So it was kind of for a very limited period of time. So before the product launch, or some people engage even after the product launch for the optimization. But recently with Ilithia, I am working with the product. So it's not like contract-based engagement. So most of the time you are continuously working. There is not a lot of things going on the front side. You see that this is the simple app and everything is once built, it will not require any kind of maintenance. But as a token engineer, you have to once even the product is developed, you have to follow up on different kind of metrics which you have defined for your product, and how is it performing, what are the different incentive mechanisms which are in place, and are there these incentive mechanisms proven to be enough to get the growth and demand in the product? And if they are failing to do so, how you can modify them in order to get more attraction from the users. So it is more like a continuous engagement where you optimize different kind of metrics, and if some kind of new feature is being developed, so you design the mechanics of that new feature. So the both type of role, I worked in both of them, and they both worked for me perfectly. So it totally depends that if you whether you are working in a service-based model or a product-based model.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good, cool. We have two more questions. I don't know who was first. Victor, go next, and then
I
Idrees.
think Idrees was first.
I think it's okay. So
All right,
let's go.
So
We won't forget
I'm gonna try to phrase something. I don't know how to articulate it yet, but I'm just kind of trying to ask you, like, what is your projection, or what do you think in the future? Let's say just in 5 years, because it develops really fast. Like when we have all these marketplaces with AI agents for basically probably in the future everything, like for Web3 in general is very strongly based on community work, right? So you have a lot of projects that are very interdisciplinary, and very often we all benefit from the fact that people put a lot of work in, from economy to maths to computer science to any kind of domain knowledge that is very specific. It can be medicine, etc. And so I was just wondering, like being involved myself as well in the project, sometimes in the long-term sustainability, like when I want to really say, okay, how can we create enough value to somehow remunerate all the contributions that have led to this value creation? Like I'm struggling myself very often, and I'm very curious to what your take is on this. Like how do you see this in the next coming years if you create a lot of agents that basically are brilliant tools, but also they can then suddenly do something that other people might have spent maybe half a career on developing their knowledge to build this. Does that come across halfway clear? I hope it's clear to understand.
Victor, I got your question. So basically, I think the future of AI is more on the ethical side and regulation sides of things, more than the actual core development and innovation, because we recently saw that with the OpenAI and Google and Microsoft. So all these big giants, they are developing these AI models which are not regulated by any kind of authority which we can trust on. So the basic purpose of building these decentralized AI models is so that there is some kind of regulatory body which exists, and even if we achieve AGI, we have some kind of infrastructure built which can regulate these AIs and agents. So if you look into the future, maybe 5-10 years, there will be a lot of AI agents which will be replacing a lot of humans in terms of jobs and tasks. So I think the ethical side of things will be more concerning for people. So if you are designing a product or designing a use case on top of AI, so you should be more considering that having those levers of control by which you can control these direction of these products. So like having those metrics or levers where the actual flow of value is happening. So maybe you can have some kind of regulatory authority which can vote on those levers in order to regulate them. But while designing, I think it's more into building infrastructure than the actual value flow, because if infrastructure is there to build and evolve these incentives and all these value flows over the time, then you can adopt with the requirements of the time, and then you can really adapt to the changes which are happening in the field. So the examples of the products which I just presented, like BitTensor, they are not focused on building use cases. They are more focused on building the infrastructure on top of which use cases can be built. So if that infrastructure is robust and it has all the levers through which they can control the development and direction of the product, then maybe if product starts going in a direction they don't want, they have those controls, they have those controllable parameters of emissions and different kind of stuff that through the validation stack of validators, or maybe through the ranking system of validators and miners. So these levers can be changed over the time in order to align the direction of product with the long-term goals of a product. I hope that, Victor, answers your question.
Interesting.
I would add 1 or 2 more thoughts and observations. The Berlin Blockchain Week took place and a big conference, DevCon, took place with a lot of AI stuff, decentralized data and AI in the discussion. And happy to share a link as well. there are, I mean, Mohammed, you showed a lot of examples where decentralization of AI and data is the way, the route to take, because of course, it's like an alternative solution to what we are currently observing, big players providing AI and just have a lock-in for so many applications and gain so much power in that. And number one, of course, decentralization has huge potential when it comes to how we as humanity want to further develop AI. And this is huge. On the other hand, there are even first voices from the in the blockchain community, in the crypto community, that say, wait, we are entering a new era. Central authorities versus decentralization it's rather an opposition between machine and human. And this is then pointing in the direction you mentioned, where you say the technology is just one aspect, the maybe much more challenging aspect is the ethical aspect. And it poses new questions for permissionless decentralized systems, where we say yes to decentralization, but maybe no to permissionless systems that are unstoppable. And I think these are interesting questions that also affect token engineering and how we shape incentives and governance. And definitely a new challenging area. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Angela.
Victor.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Adit, you're next.
Yeah. Hey, Mohammed. So I got two questions. I will ask one after other. Since people have been like asking the career kind of question, I got one. So I have been like in Web3, but non-technical. And I tried to get into token economics, like token engineering, everything earlier. But since there was like heavy code, that gap was there, learning was hard. And now since we have AI, stuff is getting easier. I'm kind of like intermediate in the sense that I can use like CAD or RADCAD somewhat, and also like use token GPT or means chat GPT or anything to find the errors and fix, but I won't be able to do like make a Python library or anything or something like that. So in that stage, what do you think like next step, or like how to like get into the token engineering space, or like what would be the ideal role and everything?
Yeah, I think in the token engineering domain specifically, you don't have to know a lot of coding in order to become a professional in this field. So when we show the token engineering floor, it has multiple different disciplines. So as a token engineer, you don't have to specialize in every one of them. So maybe if you are more inclined towards the governance and the DAO stuff, then maybe you should know about the social contract theory and all the phenomena related to the social governance and how it evolved over the time, the different kind of governance mechanism, how they worked and how they evolved. So if you know the theoretical backing of all the stuff related to governance, then you can be, even without very intermediate knowledge of any specific programming language, you can really excel in this domain in the area of token engineer who is specialized in the governance model. So there are multiple routes which you can take. It totally depends that what you really want to work on. It's not about that what is the most appropriate, but everyone has his own interests and its own biases for a certain domain. So you should, I think, pursue a domain where you really want to work for the next maybe 10 to 15 years. So that is the, I think, more important part, rather than looking at what is the trend or what are the others doing.
Got it. I also have like one general question. One thing I see is like from looking into Web2 or investment finance and Web3, one thing I see is like, I mean, in Web3, I think there is some lack of how to find finding the value of the projects or anything. And my idea or something that I thought is, does token engineering or reverse token engineering, where you pull the data of a project that's going live and reverse engineer to find the value, like how you do in traditional investing, like discount DCF model or something like Warren Buffett and all these people do, find the value. Does token engineering or something fits there? Because I see that there is a total gap of doing that thing. And if you look at Web2, that's $1 billion industry, like where you find the value of a project and sell that, this project is undervalued, and you sell that data and everything like that. But there is no logical, or there is no way to do that currently, I think, in the Web3 space. So does token engineering or token reverse engineering or something like that fit that kind of thing? Space, just putting an idea. And what do you think about that? Or is there any project already doing that?
Yeah, I think from reverse engineering, you mean that the pulling the data, on-chain data of a certain product, and then
that is live, and then figuring out whether like it's undervalued or overvalued, or what the current value is according to the market, or how do you think it will perform, or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know any specific product in this domain, but of course, every product team has a team of researchers who are continuously following these metrics and who are performing these kind of due diligence, that whether their project is undervalued or overvalued. So I don't know if there is any specific product who's dealing with this, but every product team has a dedicated team for this to perform this kind of due diligence. It's something very related to the token engineering, because when you try to optimize a certain incentive mechanism or try to optimize a certain use case, then you must have some kind of on-chain data in order to do those optimizations. So I think that is very relevant to the token engineering, that getting the data and then analyzing it. That's something which you most of the time do with the product.
I might have some pointers where you could take a look at. In addition to that, Zenit Finance is one tool, and another one is QTM, where you can, based on certain parameters that you define, and also based on data that you add on top, can observe the potential performance of your token. For example, when it comes to balancing supply and demand dynamics, and also ignoring current speculation. I think this was the setup you were discussing. So based on token utility, or based on how you shape demand and supply, how will, for example, the token price or the valuation develop? So I can drop 2 links here. Maybe you want to check it out.
Yeah, I have been checking out Zenit Finance for some time, playing with that, but QTM, I'll check it out.
Okay. Good. I think we have more. Sakib, I hope I pronounce it all right.
Yeah, you pronounce it right.
Good.
So I have this question about decentralization. Do we really need that kind of decentralization in everything? I mean, we are asking about decentralization in AI. For example, if I see even in money market, every now and then we have a hack happening on chain, and we still haven't figured out the wallets, right? So basically, you can easily trap into some phishing attack. And so can you explain, do we need that kind of decentralization? I mean, in this early stage, do we need AI, decentralized AI? I mean, we first need to fix those type of things that are related to money first, and then we come to these things. After achieving the perfection in that, we can come here in this field and then explore it.
Got your question. So basically, there's a famous quote that custody is a curse. So basically, when with the permissionless nature of the blockchain and due to the trustless nature of blockchain, there are a lot of challenges which also come with it. So once you get over this centralized control and you you give the authority, you take the authority in your hands, then there are a lot of challenges which come with it. So like the most of the DeFi hacks are due to some kind of malicious code in the smart contracts, and maybe some kind of loophole in the smart contracts. We have seen a lot of hacks in bridges. So cross-chain bridges faced a lot of hacks in earlier days of blockchain. So these kind of hacks and all these things, they are just because that you don't have that central entity to regulate all the stuff. So that's one challenge which comes with the decentralization. But I think instead of looking it as a drawback of blockchain, I think we should see it as an opportunity that there is a lot to be developed. So like there was a time when wallets used to be very static, and any Web2 user cannot transact with the wallet. So after the account abstraction and these smart contract wallets, now the user experience for a Web2 user is very kind of user friendly and not that complex. But still you have to secure your private keys. You must because if you lose them, there is no way to recover those wallets and that kind of stuff. But still there are things being developed which are on the infrastructure level, which trying to resolve all these problems related to decentralization. So for the AI, if you start building now, maybe once we will get there where the AGI will be really achievable. But even if the AGI is some kind of fantasy and we will not achieve that, with the AI democratizing things and giving users control of their model is basically something which we want to achieve. So it is ethically correct, it is philosophically correct. So how to achieve that? The solution is blockchain. So blockchain has limitations, and we have to address these limitations in order to build those use cases. So that's how I think that we should go ahead. We should not try to we should not start building things which we can't control. But with the development in the blockchain domain, and specifically on the infrastructure level, I think these use cases can be developed and they can be secure to use for any users, and all the drawbacks which come with the blockchain technology, they can also be addressed. So once the money starts flowing, we have seen BlackRock has their funds on the Ethereum. They recently ETF has also approved. So once the institutions will come into this domain and the real money will start flowing, I think these challenges can be addressed. Even with the early days of internet, there were challenges. People were talking the similar kind of things, that you cannot use internet, it has a lot of problems, and there are a lot of drawbacks of using internet. But now everyone is dependent on it and everyone uses it. So over the time things have evolved, and now we cannot do anything without the internet. So maybe the blockchain is very similar, but still it is in its early phases of development. So these challenges can be addressed as the use cases will start building on top of this technology. I hope that answers your question. It was very abstract, but I tried to answer to the best of my capabilities.
Yeah, that's a good answer. But I want to talk about now we have like a competition, right? So somebody will use your decentralized AI when they find it more helpful than like GPT. So we have that competition. You have to, nobody cares about data nowadays. They talk about, but nobody cares. Everybody still use Facebook and they don't care, even if they got this news. So we are talking about the competition. If I believe the blockchain development is slow, it's very steady because we don't have that kind of community like Web2 have. Well, so the development is very slow, and you cannot compete with the centralized AIs like GPT or something like else. So how can you achieve this?
Yeah, I think you are partially right. There is always a struggle between the status quo and between the elite and the public. So that's how societies evolved over the time. And I think the current centralization is that kind of status quo or elite in the technology domain, which people are trying to fight with their decentralized and more democratized versions of AIs and all that stuff. I don't know that whether I should say it or not, but that's how things work, and you always try to find solutions which you think that they are for the public good. And if even if you don't succeed in doing that, I think the effort of doing this is worth it. So when we say that the decentralized AI will compete with the chat GPT, we also know the limitations of blockchain. We also know that the people behind centralized counterparts like OpenAI, there are governments supporting them. There is a lot of powerful entities behind them. So I don't know whether this decentralization, it is versus centralization versus decentralization. It's between the it's actually giving more democratized access to the general public. So maybe it is not a competition at all. If the blockchain evolves over the time, maybe we can see that OpenAI transitioning its infrastructure to the blockchain. So maybe we don't have to really compete. We just have to build things which can act as a proof of concept that this decentralization is powerful, and this really can address a lot of problems which general people think. So maybe we will see in future that OpenAI is adopting blockchain. So that will be something where we must have achieved our goal. From what I have seen, both can exist side by side, catering for different audiences. Yes, that's true. Also, that's true. Also, it's not about the competition only. There in the past, things have coexisted with totally different philosophies, and I think it is for the growth of both, for the growth of centralized entities and for the growth of decentralized entities. This kind of competition is necessary, because over the time we have seen that ChatGPT haven't open sourced any of its models and anything in the start, but now recently they have started open sourcing a lot of their stuff. So basically, due to this need that people need transparency and people need that kind of trust into their product if they want, if they are using it, so they have started open sourcing a lot of stuff. So maybe they can both work side by side also.
Yeah, and I think it's worth taking a look at. I mean, this Facebook example is a little bit, I think, misleading, because whenever someone tries to promote, hey, people don't care about data, they point to Facebook and that people don't mind sharing their data via Facebook or Google. But these are consumer cases where there is no big threat and also no big limitation in monetization, because as a consumer, you can't monetize your data otherwise. So, okay, this is just the situation we have today. I think there are other use cases that fit perfectly to a decentralized setup where you have big entities. It can be corporates, and it can be governance, and it can be communities who have a wealth of data that they can't really make use of. And they are very, they are not fond of the idea that they simply hand it over to OpenAI. And there have to be alternatives, and these entities are keen to find alternatives, actually, in the mobility sector, in the medical sector, when it comes to prediction, climate change. And I think, yeah, they're there are different cases with different needs, and we should not only look at the Facebook example. That's what I want to add here.
Yeah, perfect. Do we have any other questions?
I would like to, in case you guys don't have any other questions, we keep an eye on the chat. I would like to summarize, go back to our starting point, token engineering and AI machine learning. I think there are 3 dimensions to take a look here that are interesting and worth further exploration. Number 1 is, what are the new economic paradigms we can observe in shaping token-based economies and incentive mechanisms in AI systems and data systems? And here I would say the current situation is not so much change. We see very similar primitives, we see staking, we see same questions around governance, verification, yeah, let's say rewarding the supply side, right? Rewarding data vendors. One element, the economic side, the new mechanisms around AI and data. The second one is how data and AI as an asset class. And here it gets more exciting, I would say, because this touches on the question, are AI agents new stakeholders in economic systems? And how can we reward or steer their activities, define the boundaries, the action space, and then steer their activities towards a certain target? And I think this is, of course, super interesting, because potentially you can define an objective function for an AI agent way more precise than for a human agent, because you wouldn't have all the irrationality here. And so AI agents as participants in an economy is a super interesting field, and we already have it in DeFi and high frequency trading, in bots, in also control and balance our system. So this is a very exciting field for a token engineer. And the third one is, how can we as token engineers apply AI to make or for stress testing verification? So the token GPT and LLMs applied to modeling and simulations would be a sector. So 3 dimensions. Mohammed, what are your thoughts here or observations on those 3 based on your experience in the projects?
Yeah, I think with the LLMs boom, and there is a lot of stuff going with LLMs, we haven't explored the potential of machine learning really, and these generative models are just one paradigm of AI, which is basically the text-based. I see them as an interface between human and machines. So this text-based, we use to code, we used to write complex code in order to interact with these machines, but now we can interact with them with a simple text-based prompt, just like we interact with each other. So with this new type of interaction, which is being which is between machines and people, individual human beings. So this new type of interaction opens a lot of opportunities to develop use cases in every domain. So even with the economic models and with the stuff related to token engineering, we have seen that previously the tokens used to represent the value flows between the different type of participants of the network. But these value flows were kind of very qualitative in nature, but we somehow try to represent them and quantify them with the transactions of the tokens. In the same way, when these agents interact with each other, and even a human being interacts with an AI agent, these value flows are based on the type of interaction which you are doing. you can, just like you mentioned, that these agents are more rational than human beings. So they have these behaviors which are very predictable. So when the value flow happens between the two AI agents, you can actually quantify that what type of value they have exchanged. And the economic systems which are built on top of that, these kind of use cases, they are much more precise and much more efficient than the use cases which we use to develop in this world of human to human interactions. So I think that is the domain where a lot of development is going on. And on the token engineering side, where we are the token GPT and cat GPT, these kind of things, they are just like an interface between the token engineers and machine with the models, with the simulation. So I think that we can optimize our efforts in terms of interactions, that how we use to interact with these system to get insights, to get data, and to analyze these stuff. So we can make those interactions much more efficient if you start using LLMs. And the token GPT is one of the very basic product which we try to display here for the demo, but there are a lot of use cases which can be developed in the token engineering domain by integrating LLMs. And there is a lot of work which is also going on, and in future there are multiple ideas which also have in mind. So I will keep on sharing with the TE Academy and all this community of token engineers that what else we can do and how we can participate in this development of token engineering domain.
Very much looking forward to it. Cool. So in case you guys don't have any further questions, let's take the next step, because as we mentioned, this is the final session, or this was the final session of Muhammad's live track about the application of AI and machine learning to token engineering. Now it's your turn, because we have set up an online exam that you can now take, and by passing it, you become eligible to mint an NFT as proof of knowledge for in this live track and in the study season. And I'll share now my screen to show you how this works exactly. Okay, let me just find my slides. Or not my slides. This is actually going to the tokenengineering.net website. So this is where you can find the exam. You know it, tokenengineering.net, and we have a section that is called Explore Courses, and you'll find the modeling and simulating decentralized economic systems with the application of AI and machine learning, Muhammad's course here. And by clicking on it, you will get access to the details page. And in this case, this is the description. This is just more information about the exam. So some important deadlines to keep in mind. The deadline to pass your exam is June 24th. So you have now almost a month to pass your exam. You can start right away and pass it today, up to you. What you should keep in mind is also free minting opens on June 6th. We are currently updating our NFT infrastructure. That's why the minting is available from next week, but this should not prevent you from starting the exam, because you can take the exam whenever you want to, and once you have passed, you are eligible to mint, no matter if you mint right away or if you wait for 6 months. That doesn't matter. Your exam's result is not lost, okay? So free minting opens June 6th. The exam is available today, right now, and with the exam and with the NFT minted, holding the NFT in your wallet, you can vote on the fellowship prize winner. And Muhammad is one of the fellowship candidates. So you can say thank you to Muhammad and vote for him in the voting that opens on June 18th. And we'll have the voting open for 1 week, June 18th to June 25th. There will be all kinds of reminders on our Discord and social media, but add this to your calendar to not miss the chance to vote for Mohammed's live track in the voting. And an NFT, any NFT, this NFT that you acquired in this course or any other TE fundamentals modules, NFT-based reputation in Web3, all the courses that are available on our webpage and all the live tracks in the study season provide you the opportunity to acquire NFTs, and these NFTs will give you more voting weight. So basically, pass as many exams as you can, mint as many NFTs as you can, vote for Mohammed, and this you'll make the maximum impact in the voting. Okay. Yeah, no fees on the minting for this NFT. And again, deadline to pass is June 24th, and then mint your NFT and take part in the voting June 18th to June 25th. And now some final words on how to access the exam. You enroll here. So you have to log into your TE Academy account and then enroll to the course. And then you'll find the exam. And let me share this in a different browser. So usually all browsers work well. So the typical one, Chrome, Firefox. You should not prevent pop-ups. This is what we need to access the material. And then the course player gives you this exam. So you just launch the exam. You can take as many attempts as you like in this case. There's a high passing rate of 96%, so 25 questions, meaning maximum one question can be answered incorrectly, but then you can try again. And there's a feedback report to help you find the questions you have answered incorrectly. Okay, so you just launch the exam and then find the questions here. It's multiple choice mostly, and you can just click on the results or click on your answer and go to the next, and via that go over your exam. And you can also go back and correct, and then once you went through all the 25 questions, submit your exam, get the results. And once you are eligible, or once you pass the exam, you'll get a prompt, and then find your course in your TE Academy profile. So like here, this is my dummy profile with my name, my user ID, my profile details, public profile in case you'd like to share it to show your NFTs. And here you can see that I have already connected a wallet address. This is, of course, the prerequisite to receive these NFTs, but never mind, there are checks in the process. We'll prompt you in case you need to add your wallet address first. So you have to link a wallet address, Ethereum Optimism address, to your TE Academy account. Keep in mind that you should select this wallet address and the type of wallet with care, because the NFTs are not transferable. They compose and represent your knowledge acquired over time in the token engineering sector. This should be tied to one wallet. This should not be tradable, and that's why these NFTs are non-transferable. However, of course, it's important to have long-term access to don't lose your keys and your access to this wallet, since you cannot simply transfer it to a different wallet. And once you've connected this wallet to your account, you can then mint your NFTs, and you can find them in the courses that you are enrolled in. Let me just see if I can show you courses and the enrolled state. Oh yeah, it's here. So you'll find the courses that you are enrolled in here, enrolled courses, and courses that you have completed in this section. And once you have completed the exam for Mohammed's course, there's this label Mint Now, and then you can go ahead and just click on it at Mint And at the moment, since, remember, minting is not open yet, we are currently updating our infrastructure. It's open from June 6th. You'll get this pop-up, but next week, the minting is available, and then you just click on this course and find the minting process there. Okay.
Angela, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Do we have this proof of knowledge NFTs for other fellowship candidate tracks also?
Right. Yes, we do. So there are 8 live tracks in the study season. Let me just pull up the information hub. This is the study season information hub. And we have 8 live tracks that are available here. And 7 of these 8 live tracks offer an opportunity to mint NFTs. You can find an overview on earning proofs of knowledge in this information hub with all information on the fellowship voting, on what NFTs are available generally at TE Academy, and then go to the details of every course, like here, track 1, for example, or track 6, and find all the details about earning your proof of knowledge in this particular case, because the live tracks work differently depending on the content. We have either online exams, like in this track, or sometimes you submit a case study, the lecturer reviews, and you get results, and then we airdrop tokens, the NFTs to the students, to the graduates, so to say. So it works slightly different. That's why you should check out the details at the respective live track pages.
Perfect.
Good. Any other questions on exams, passing exams, receiving your NFTs? Good. So I suggest you just head over to the exam, check it out, and see if you can pass and get ready for the minting. I dropped the link to the exam in track 6 here, and of course you'll also find it on Discord and on the Notion. All right. That said, Mohammed, thank you so much for providing this live track, for sharing the knowledge. This is the core idea of the fellowship grant. We'd like to invite people who are contributing to the sector of token engineering and ask them to share their knowledge. This discipline is super young, and sharing knowledge is so important. And that's why I want to say a big thank you to you, Mohammed, for being open to share your knowledge and take part in the competition for the fellowship grant. Again, you all can say thank you to Mohammed via voting for the fellowship prize winner. And we'll continue keeping you posted on the other live tracks. Make sure to either meet us during EFCC in Brussels or follow the live stream. There is a live stream available at EFCC. So I hope we'll meet again latest at EFCC or on Discord. And yeah, let's keep on working on great token engineering stuff. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.